How's it going, class? So, for my assignment, I decided to do it on the gender pay gap and how you can see that in today's society, in the workplace, and everywhere else you can kind of see it too. So, for me, the first thing that comes to mind is like sports teams. Like, this is like the biggest example that I could think of. So, this right here is a picture of the men's U.S. national team, and this past year they made $400 million across about like 26 to 30 teams roughly versus the women's. Like, this is a picture of our US national team for the women's, and they only made $30 million across 24 teams, which is like a huge difference. So continuing further, this is kind of like the same thing. This is the WNBA, and this is like the 2019 champs, the Mystics. So they they won this past year, but an average WNBA player salary is $71,000, and that's for like a 1 year deal. Versus you see in the NBA, the average salary is $582,000 a year, which is freaking insane. And then for like star players like say like Steph Curry or Kevin Durant, they make almost like 35, $40 million a year, which is just absolutely crazy, mind-blowing. Um so in this picture, I just kind of wanted to display that like in a work setting. So women earn 80 cents for every dollar that a man makes, and like that's 20 cents, which is a lot. And then you can see it like over time, like in a stretch of 15 years, if you count that all together, then a woman would make 50% of what a man does over 50 years. Um, okay. This is just a chart showing that um, workers have gotten better. Like the pay gap has lessened over time, and we are getting better. Like it's taken us a long time to kind of like close this gap from where it was to where it is now, but we still have a little bit of work to do. Um, this is the like a picture of a woman, and she's working on like a sewing machine. This is for the Industrial Revolution. Um, so this is the second Industrial Revolution. It was from 1970 to 1914. So in this, like a lot of like women and children had to like take over like jobs because they had like small fingers and they could do like a lot of like the work. But um, average work day would be around 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. There was like really like bad and dangerous working conditions. They received harsh punishments if they were late. They would only get like a 40-minute like lunch break, and it was just bad overall. So this right here is Rosie the Riveter, and for those of you who don't know her, she was just created as like a symbol to show that like women are strong because all the men had to be shipped off to war at this time, so women had to take over all the jobs of like the men. Um, and this was just like they just needed to change manufacturing and transportation and stuff. So they had to like recruit other women to like do all these things, and their jobs basically consisted of um, building cars, ships, airplanes, whatever you could think of to like help our country like succeed. And at the same time, they also had to take over jobs such as cops, conductors, nurses, and anything else you could really think of. So, kind of fast forwarding into like modern day, women, 19% of women are C-level executives. 24% of women are senior vice presidents, and 27% of women are vice presidents. 35% have worked their way up to director. 40% have worked their way up to managers, and 53% uh, are entry level positions. So this is Oprah Winfrey for those of you who don't know, which you all should know. But um, she was the first black female billionaire, and she's worth over $3 billion. And I just added her in to show like that women are capable of like being very professional and successful. And so she's done everything from developing her own talk show, doing the news, probably many podcasts. She started her own TV network. She's helped produce a lot of films. She started her own magazine company, and the list goes on and on about her accomplishments. But um, also moving on, this is like in a like political sense. So on the left is Michelle Obama. She's married to Barack Obama, and then this is Hillary Clinton. So I decided to use both of these because they are kind of have like a political sense to them. Michelle Obama, she kind of like when she was in or when Barack Obama was in like his presidency and she was the first lady, she did a lot to help all like the kids and everything. She like gave back to the community in such a big way, and she made a really big impact on our nation. And Hillary Clinton, she had just run for president like this past when we were voting. So like she's like really like outspoken, and she actually almost won. The race was very, very tight between her and Donald Trump, but it's just showing you like women can be like so powerful, and this gap that we have today, I feel like we shouldn't have this gap. Like it's taken a long time for society to right all the wrongs that we have in history. A lot of times in history you look back and then you see these problems, and it's like, oh, we should have fixed this a long time ago, but it just like never really gets fixed until like we look back at it. Um, but I think that if we can continue on this trend right now that we have of lessening the pay gap year by year till it's eventually gone, that we can be more inclusive to women and equal as a society, and we can take the next step and focus on other problems and continuing to improve ourselves. At the end of the day, a woman can do the same job that a man can, if not better, so they should be able to make the same amount of money that this man does. Thank you.